What? What? And
we're live.
we are live.
Hello.
Hey, Marian.
Russ.
How are you?
I am super fantastic as usual.
Super fragilistic,
No, just super fantastic today.
Wow.
Yeah. This is Marketing Ideas That Work, and we are live on 5 different platforms today, thanks to the brains sitting right next to me, Mr. Johns. He's figured it out. He's figured out how to put us on Facebook, Crowdcast, our website, Periscope, and what else? What did I miss?
Crowdcast, website, Periscope, YouTube, and Facebook.
YouTube. I forgot Facebook and YouTube. Oh my
So
goodness.
it says Agency 258 is live for the first time.
Oh, that's not true. We've been live lots of times.
But not on Periscope, though.
That's right. We're on Periscope now, too.
So what we want to do is bring to the table these ideas that marketing ideas that work. Now, I know that you're familiar with video, and I'm familiar with video, but not everybody is familiar with video, right?
Well, I think they're familiar with it, but maybe not how to use it in their marketing.
I wonder if they're afraid of it.
Sometimes people are afraid of the camera. When that little red light comes on, thank God ours is blue, but maybe not how to use it in their marketing. Oh, you're not supposed to do that.
I'm checking these streams because we have five, not count them, 5.
I know.
5 streams all at once.
You know, that's modern technology for you, right? Being able to stream live. Stream live is new.
Yeah.
But streaming live to 5 different platforms is pretty cool. So I remember when I first started doing social media marketing training, it would just be like Facebook, okay? That was the big thing. Everybody's on Facebook, you know. Then Twitter came along. Everybody's supposed to get on Twitter. And they were like, I can't do Facebook, much less Twitter too.
Why would I want to do 2?
Right? And then Instagram and Periscope and all these other places started coming aboard, and everybody kept saying, well, just concentrate on 2.
Yeah.
But the way you have set it up is we could actually talk to every one of the streams that has our audience on it at the same time.
Well, you know why I did that, don't you?
Because you could?
No, because we found out today, Marianna Cortez came and spoke to us, and she talked about the language of connection. And there are 3 categories that a lot of people kind of, you know, it's not black and white, it's not cut and dried. And I was a visionary, and she indicated that sometimes visionaries are not as, they have a lot of ideas, a lot of things going on. And she made the comment about being lazy.
She took it back, though.
Well,
you're laid back, she said, not lazy.
I said I'm laid back. However, the reason I did what I did with these 5 streams is because I am lazy. And I didn't want to have to deal with downloading it from one, uploading it to another, downloading it, splitting the audio out and moving it around, and it's time consuming.
Yes, it is.
Right? So I thought, okay, well, why not broadcast all 5 locations all at once? And then that could save me hours every time we broadcast.
That's true.
That means that we can actually broadcast more frequently with less pain, which in turn allows them to.
And so, you know, we have audiences in all of those streams.
Yeah.
Now, the only one we didn't really talk about was like Pinterest, but I don't really, if my audience is on Pinterest, you know, I'm not really connecting with them there, so I'm okay with you not like broadcasting to Pinterest.
So you're not as active on Pinterest.
But the rest of them I am. I love all the platforms that you talked about. I'm on my website every single day, and I hope that you'll come and visit the website as well. I'm on Facebook every single day. I love Twitter. Oh my goodness, I love Twitter. And Periscope is now owned by Twitter, so it's just so cool. I just love it. Okay. So anyway, that was what I wanted to talk about is, you know, how you can get your marketing message out to more people with less work. And can anybody do this? Or does it take a techie like you to figure it out?
Well, I'm going to be creating tutorials that will break down step by step by step to make it easy and affordable. And well, affordable, it's really not, I mean,
All they need is a camera, right?
Yeah. I mean, there's some things that you need. However, it's not that complicated when you break it down to the simplest possible way. I mean, I set this up after I learned how to do everything and get it all processed. In order to set that all up, it takes 5-10 minutes max. In fact, I just did it just before the show, and I had 6 minutes left. I rebooted my computer completely from scratch. I set everything up and broadcast the show at 1 o'clock, right?
Yep.
So going back to this, we have ways and techniques and technology that'll save you time. You know, it's not about technology as much as it is about connecting with your audience and getting your message out. So, you know, just like our networking events, you know, we had a great group of people in the room today, and talked a little bit about our speaker, Marianna, what she brought.
Oh,
she was great.
People loved her, right? Have you noticed that all of our speakers are interactive? Like today, we're going to have on the show Shane, which you're
Shane Hennessy.
Yeah, Shane is
Rising Tides Life Coaching.
Yeah, he's going to be on the show in just a little bit, so I won't go into too much of that. But he did some interactive information for us, you know, so we didn't have to just sit there and get, you know, not that it's not good information if you don't get interactive, but it's like a theme.
It wasn't boring.
It wasn't boring at all.
We had a good time.
So the name of her company is The Language of Connection, and she is actually on our directory.
I was just going to say, she's in the directory, isn't she?
She is. Her tagline is team communication training, less drama, more momentum. I love that.
And she's trained in the philosophy of, I think it's SAGE. Is it
Sage University?
Sage University, which is a lot of philosophy around, you know, the emotional aspect and the body language and things like that. So it's really
she's fantastic.
Stuff beyond my patience.
Now wait a minute. You really got a lot out of today's training. I know you.
I always get a lot out of our training, and so I invite and encourage everyone to come and visit us, and you know,
and visit her because.
Visit her, yeah.
Yeah, come to the agency258.com/directory and check her out because she is definitely worth coming into your business and giving training to your staff and to your whole team and
actually connect with her on Meetup because she actually has an event here at Office in America every Wednesday.
Yeah, if you're here in Houston, you know, some of our people are not in Houston. So if you're in Houston, you can come on Wednesday right here on Savoy at Office in America.
Yeah.
So I do recommend going to see Marianna Cortez. There's a couple other people I'd like a shout out to. And one of them is...
What about Louise?
Louise Dewey. She's the baby boomer babe. And she's also in the directory. I'd love for you to go and check her out. She has
some interesting stories.
She was the networking queen here in Houston.
I know. She wore a crown and everything.
She wanted to, you know, call all the media and switch over the crown to me. She said, "You are now the official networking lady." So, yeah.
Did you accept the?
I did. I am the new networking queen. How about that?
I am sitting next to royalty.
Do I have to wear a crown? I hope not.
I'm happy. That gets me out of the loop, right?
Yes, it does.
Or do I want to leave the loop?
Once in a while, you have to come with me to a networking event.
I will be happy to network with you.
Another shout out I want to give to Claudia Autry, who is a hypnotist. And she does self-healing through earth modalities, which are essential oils and EFT training and mindfulness.
She actually has some classes coming up.
Theta healing.
Yeah.
She does. She has classes, workshops, and she'll work with you individually. And I just absolutely think her energy is something that you need to experience.
So you can track her down.
Claudia Autry. You can also find her on our directory.
Yeah.
Like I said, agency258.com/directory, and you'll find everything you need to know about those cool people we just talked about.
Or connecting with them. All you have to do is reach out and, you know, connect. I mean, it's pretty simple.
Who's this directory for?
Well, business owners that want to promote their business that don't have millions of dollars in sales and budget, and they're looking to expand their brand a little bit more and actually have a team of people marketing them on a regular basis and through shows, networking events, activities, our social channels. We have a few people on social, right?
A few.
A few.
Yep.
So
we blog, we talk, we have live events.
We have digital email newsletters, right?
That's right.
What about our newsletter? Do we have a newsletter?
You know what? Everybody should sign up to receive our newsletter.
Why? Why would you want to sign up for our newsletter?
It's an award-winning newsletter, I'm telling you. It is out. Everybody that reads it tells me, oh my God, Marian, it's so beautiful. It is so packed full of cool stuff. And I love getting it out every week. And it has our blog in it. So you get cool tools.
What was the message this week?
Well, the first thing I do is the message of the week, which is a national holiday.
April Fools.
Yeah, yeah.
I thought that was a great
Laugh at Work week this week.
If you're a little tight around the shoulders and can't quite get it together, give yourself a good laugh. That's all I got to say.
Sometimes it's hard to give yourself a good laugh. Sometimes you need somebody to tickle you.
Oh, I can crack myself up all the time.
Uh-huh.
You can't do that?
No.
Oh, no.
No.
Is it just me?
I need the energy from others to crack myself up.
Don't get me laughing.
We talked about the directory. We talked about the newsletter, which, all you got to do is go to the front page of our website, and there's a big banner there that says, sign up for our newsletter.
Yeah.
It's not going to hurt, I promise.
It's pretty simple.
I highly recommend it.
Pain-free.
It's packed full of good information.
And the beauty of it is what happens is we are out networking and people ask us a question about a certain subject or a topic. And what we do is we create a blog post about that topic and then put it in our newsletter so we can share it with other people. I mean, it's a pretty simple process. However, not everybody does it. I'm surprised. So
now, this is the part that most people really look forward to.
Okay.
Russ loves to share, and he shares so freely that sometimes I have to contain him. But he's really
I cannot be contained.
He's really wanting to share something that he has known for a long time that people are. He's so entrenched in it, in these tools that he uses, that he knows the developers by name. He'll even fly. I almost said drive. Fly out to like San Francisco or San Diego to meet with the developers so that they can pick his brain and try to figure out what people really need in their business. So Russ, tell us a little bit about the tool that you want to share today.
Okay, so I want to go back to the newsletter. So if you happen to receive our newsletter, if you were wise enough to subscribe to our newsletter or visit our blog post this week, we talked about the power of a landing page. And the power of a landing page is that it's a single purpose page for a specific goal and focus. So with that in mind, everybody's going, well, okay, how do I create this thing? How do I create a landing page? Well, landing pages can be very complex, and there are a lot of solutions that you can pay for, lead pages, ClickFunnels. We use Thrive Themes and Thrive Builders, and it's a very efficient tool. However, I found Dean and Dione. They're a couple from Australia. They created a platform called Paperform. Now, Paperform is, when you first look at it, it looks and appears kind of like a survey tool. Like forms, you can say, ask questions, and you can get answers and things like that. However, what I was able to do with this, it allows you to insert video and images and text and get answers back. So I thought this would be a cool little landing page. So I created a landing page and did some experiments with it. And I was able to achieve with 2 email campaigns, 2 times reaching out to an audience, I was able to achieve 75% open rate.
That's unheard of.
I know. So
3 or 4 is the norm.
Yeah.
3 or 4%.
So I'm super excited about this. And like I said, read the blog post at agency258.com/blog and talk about landing pages, understand the fundamentals of landing pages. And then we'll follow up with some tutorials about paper form, and we'll share that in next week's blog post maybe.
Okay.
Would that work?
That sounds good to me.
And so what we have here is an easy solution to a complex problem that people have been struggling with for a long time. And if you understand this concept and some of the marketing principles we teach, is you can take a simple tool, create a simple solution, and connect and market with people, get your message out. And that's the things that we're teaching about, marketing ideas that work.
One thing I've noticed about our community, and I'm sure that it reaches way beyond our community, is that most people, Russ, don't care. They just want it to work.
Yeah.
So I always like to recommend that if that's you, if you don't like technology, or you don't have time, or you don't want to, let's just face it, some people just plain don't want to. You could always hire Agency 258 to do it all for you. Yeah. Somebody asked me one day, well, what is it that you guys can do for us? I was like, anything you can conjure up in your head. There's nothing that we can't do. We have a partner that does it, or that we do it ourselves. Doesn't matter. Yeah. If technology is not something that you're comfortable with, don't worry. We'll do it for you.
Well, it's interesting you say that, because Marian and she likes networking. I like creating stuff. I mean, my whole sweet spot is I like to create things. It's like, okay, what can I do with this? How can I create something new? And I like creating things like images, audio, video, and that's a skill set that not everybody likes to do. You like networking. That's not a skill that I like to do. I mean, I like networking. However, I don't thrive on it like you do.
Right.
So we kind of split up tasks, and we have other people in our network, and it's like, do what you love to do and maximize your time doing that. Do what you do best and delegate the rest, right?
Farm out the rest.
Farm out the rest. Okay. Mm-hmm. Delegate or die. That's what I say. It's like, okay.
Well, that's what Marianna said in a training today. She really talked about building a team.
Yeah.
And I know that a lot of people, when they first start their business, they resist that. They resist building a team. They say, well, I can't afford it, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? You just can't afford not to, because you can't do it all yourself. And so a team is a great way to make sure that you get everything done that you need to have done to grow your business. Unless you just want to be, one person selling your hours for dollars.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, you create a job that way. You don't create a business that way. So
one more thing before you scoot out of here, literally. The number one problem I think that most businesses have is sales, right?
Sales has always been a challenge as long as people have walked the face of the earth exchanging goods.
Mm-hmm. So I know that you are creating a program that is going to help people with their sales in their company. Marketing is great, and we all have to do it. If no one knows about you, you can't make a sale. So you do have to have the marketing piece, but you also have to do sales. So we've partnered with Mark McComb, and we're doing some training on sales coming up. So be watching that. Watch that newsletter that's coming out real soon, right?
Well,
every Monday.
And talk about partnerships, and expanding the team. We may not be doing all of this work. However, because we've been networking and connecting and collaborating with people, we have resources that we can plug you into. And so Mark McComb is a perfect example of, we want to be able to work together to solve a solution that we keep hearing in the market. Right. That's the reason why we started the directory is, okay, we're solving a problem. Let's create something that helps that problem. And the problem is a lot of businesses starting up and starting new don't have a huge budget. So, So we started the directory. We're creating a sales program. It's a 4-week class. It's going to teach you all of the essence and elements and the solutions that you need to put in place for you.
And even if you're not here in Houston, it's okay. Everything's going to be recorded and available online.
Yep, we'll produce a show from it. So with that being said, I want to introduce another collaborator and somebody that we work with. And not only is your technology important, but your state of mind is important. So I want to make sure that people understand what the possibilities are when you start. I always say high tide raises all boats.
Yeah.
Well, rising tide.
Life coaching.
Life coaching is here today, and I wanted to scoot out and introduce them. So
there you go.
Shane Hennessy, join us on board.
Bye, Russ. And here with us now is Shane Hennessy from Rising Tides Life Coaching. Hey, Shane.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Yay.
I love rolling in on this high-tech
High-tech chair.
It's like serving up.
Ooh, there you go. Yeah, come this way just a little bit. There we go. That's it. Perfect. All right. The minute I met you, you knew that I just had to have more of you. So
I think that was mutual. We were in a networking meeting, and Marian was speaking, and I thought I need to get to know this lady. And we had coffee almost the next day or that week, and we just connected like phew, it was a lot of fun.
Well, I think it's important that everybody assesses where they are. Your mind, your body, your soul, they're all connected. And if you try to compartmentalize, there you go. It doesn't flow together. You really need all 3 parts moving along at the same time in the same direction. So I am a firm believer that we need to really think about what's going on in here, because people can feel it. Even if you don't say anything, people know when you're angry, you're upset, you're frustrated.
Energy is very real.
It is real.
Very real and
it's
very,
like
very palpable.
Right? You can't see it, but you know it's there. Right? So Shane, tell us a little bit about the name of your company, how you got started, and a little background, because I think it's fascinating. I know, so you want to tell them.
I actually came into helping people by the way of becoming a psychotherapist back in the 90s, and am continuing that path by I've become a certified life coach to continue, but to get out of the past into the present and help people go from good to great. The reason the name came together was that phrase rising tide lifts all boats was something that was mentioned to me at a time when, for whatever reason, it lodged in my brain and stayed in there for a very long time. And when I was putting together the ideas of who I wanted to be and what I wanted to call my coaching business and what I wanted it to present into the world energetically, that phrase kept coming back. And I thought, oh, it's Rising Tides Life Coaching. Because when you help somebody, you don't help just one person. If I help your life get better and raise your energy and help you feel better, it impacts everybody you touch. So it's really a ripple effect.
Yeah, your partners, your customers, your neighbors, like literally everybody, right? It does help to feel good and to feel like you are moving forward in your life.
Right.
Business just comes right along with that.
It is a flow of energy and prosperity that goes all together.
So you've gone from traditional counseling to coaching people, which I found fascinating. When you first told me about, it's not that you don't want to hear people's problems anymore, but they were staying stuck there in that, let me tell you my problems. And you wanted to step into coaching where we're not thinking about maybe what happened to us in the childhood. We're wanting to go to a certain area in our business, or we want to move forward in our life. And now we're going to talk about how to get there instead of how to look back.
A real simple, quick visual to put that together is if you're in a hole and you want to get out, that's therapy. If you're up here, you got out of the hole, but now you want to climb the mountain, that's coaching. So that's just a real quick and dirty way to separate the two.
Nice. So tell us a little bit about your favorite clients. Maybe even tell us a story about a favorite client.
My favorite client actually ends up being myself. And the way that came about was I woke up and looked in the mirror one day to realize that I was middle-aged. And that was sort of shocking and unnerving because in my head, I'm not 48. I'm about 29, 30. I'm much younger in my head than what I feel, or than what I am. And I thought, I can't be the only one this is happening to. You know, when you first start getting your AARP notices in the mail.
Oh my God.
And you're nowhere close to 50.
It says Marian LaSalle.
And it actually has your name on it.
It has my name. No.
I got it too. I think I got my first one when I was 45. And I thought, but I'm only 30 in my head. I'm only 30. But you know, what happens is as we get older, we learn how to do life, but then what happens is you sort of layer those sticks up. So there's responsibilities and obligations and family and whatever it is. You've learned how to do life, but you've kind of gotten into a certain way of doing it. And myself and my ideal clients have woken up to think either, is this all there is? Or, oh my God, what have I done? Or, who the heck am I? And I think that's a really common place to go. In the past, this would have initiated, or does initiate now, what was called a midlife crisis. And I don't think that needs to happen. I don't think you need to burst into flame.
Buy a red Corvette.
Or start drinking heavily. To cope with those things. It can happen. But asking for help to do that, to step outside of that box and figure out what's going on, who you are, it can feel like a real leap of faith, and that can be very scary. And so you need someone who's comfortable taking on that task, and so that you don't feel like you've been dropped in the grease. Yeah. I don't think, you know, people, I think it's a good thing to say. People say, well, why don't you ask for help? But what people don't realize is that can be a little unnerving. When you've got your life together and suddenly, why would I need to ask for help? Everything's working. I feel like crap, but everything's working. It should be okay, right? And sometimes it's just not. Sometimes it's just not. You paint yourself into a corner with the stories that you tell yourself.
Oh yeah, the stories we tell ourselves.
And then realize. So yeah, a particular story aside from myself was a man that I work with who, in his early 50s, got fired from a job he'd been doing for 25 years, a job that he had come to not like anymore. And so being fired was terrifying. Oh no! Because in our age range, you're supposed to pick one thing and do it until you retire or die. And but his second thought was, I didn't like that job anymore anyway. But who the heck am I? And that's what we're working on now.
Oh. Well, you know what? In our networking group today, there was a lady there that was an attorney for the last, how many years did she say?
30. She said
30 years, and she was getting ready to retire. But she doesn't want to quit working. She just wants to quit doing that. And now she needs to figure out what can she do next. She actually said that in the networking group today, is what am I going to do next? Well, you know, who am I going to be now that I'm not going to be an attorney, practicing attorney
And
anymore?
we did have an extended conversation in which the deeper story was, I want to be who I used to be. And what happens for people over time, especially if you're really active and you're doing things and you're learning life and growing and expanding, is sometimes your original light, your original awesomeness gets covered up or it gets muddy, you know, and you need to scoop that away, get back to what your original story was, who you are, and figure out who that is, how that informs who you are today and how you're going to move forward with that.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
So your favorite client is around your age?
My favorite clients are, Generation X. Generation X is called the middle generation or the lost generation. And we are, in fact, the middle generation at middle age at this time. And those are my favorite folks to work with.
Fantastic. Well, I highly recommend that you go to agency258.com/directory and look him up on our directory. It's a unique directory that is based upon people that we know, we love, we like, we trust, that has great businesses, and we want to share them. So Shane, let's talk about your marketing.
My marketing is right here and over there where you can't see him anymore because he slid out. I was the person that they talked about earlier of wanting to be not just a solopreneur, but someone who literally soloed everything. And the fact is I can't. So my leap of faith in this process was to reach out and ask for help. And I asked for help from Agency 258.
Well, I love his attitude, because the first thing I did was we just sat down and we had a conversation. I said, all right, your homework is to go to Twitter and I want you to do this, this, and this. Oh, the next thing you know, like the very next day, there he is doing it. And I thought, oh my God, I love that kind of a client that will actually do what we suggest that they do, instead of making excuses like, well, I don't have time, you know. So
I think that's an ideal client of anybody, me included, is when they ask for help. That's the other side of that. When you ask for help, you have to be willing to receive it and then do something with it. And that's part of an energy flow. We were talking about energy earlier. That's part of an energy flow. Because if I ask for help and you tell me what to do and then I don't do it, I put up a block, which is frustrating you and not getting me anywhere.
Right. So that was our first working together, was me just giving him some tips on Twitter and him actually doing it. So I have noticed that you are really good at it now. You're flowing with it, and it is really, you know, showing, you know, the world that you can be seen online. People can find you now. And
I was also nervous about getting in front of the camera. When the light came on, I hated it.
That's right. That's right. We talked about that. But you were willing to do it.
I was willing to do it. I bit the bullet and just have gotten my repetitions under my belt, and now it's not as traumatic anymore. Now I need to get Russ to teach me film editing or movie editing, so I can just do one long take and chop out the bad parts.
Oh.
But I'll tell you what, in this whole marketing relationship that we have on that side of it, something just happened today. I saw a digital deal for getting a lifetime subscription to something that kind of looked cool. I didn't really know how to use it. It just looked cool and it was so cheap. I figured, why not? And that thing was called Paperform, which I have an account for and have never used. But now that I know, I have people on my team that know how that works, I will be asking more questions.
It is really cool. It really is. And you know, you're right. When you first look at it, it looks cool, but you get in there and it's like, okay, I can just use this for contests, or I can use it for, you know, a survey. But it's, as you know, Russ can make it do anything he wants it to do. So, so we're really excited about that. And to have him talking to the developers, saying, you know, well, I wish it would do this, and then next thing you know, it's doing that. So I love that. I love our team. We work very well together. So what is what's on the horizon for your next marketing plan? What are we doing together as a team? What are you doing in your head? How are you handling your next marketing move, push?
Next marketing move, let's see, I've had an extended conversation with Russ about podcasting, and he's taught me how to do that. I just need to put the rubber to the road. I turned on and activated the email service called Active Campaign, which we will be getting set up so that I can begin collecting email addresses. For a digital newsletter, which is a weekly event with value and information, in case anybody is unclear about that.
It's not the old-fashioned newsletter.
It's not an old-fashioned,
you know,
or chipped into stone. So that's going. I'm developing a class for that particular ideal client we were talking about, that Generation X person who is not burned out yet, but they're burning up. They're on fire for their life and need to figure out how to stop the burning.
So you're like a fireman.
I told everybody earlier this morning, I decided that I knew what I want to be when I grow up, and that is a fireman, and I've made it there.
All right.
So that I'm developing that class, which we will, as it comes together, I will be having you push out.
Fantastic.
More into the world.
And aren't we building a landing page for you on the directory?
We're building the landing page, and one of the things that the whole process of having the directory behind me is I don't really know what to do. I probably have some ideas, but I don't really know how to put them into action. That's where they come in. And as I told Marian today, just tell me what I need to do.
I will get you.
I'll get you whatever.
And you are a good student. You'll do exactly what we ask. And you know what? Most of it, you don't have to do anything, right? You just give us the information, like the videos what we're creating for you and that type of stuff. So you just give us the information. We even have writers. If you can't write your own content, we have writers on our team that are really good at that. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Is there anything else that you'd like to discuss before we close out today?
I'll just say again, I'm Shane Hennessy with Rising Tides Life Coaching. I'm a certified life coach and therapist. I guess sometimes I call myself a theracoach.
Oh, I like that.
For my own,
like that.
A fireman and a theracoach. I've become so many things. You can find me on the Agency 258 website under /directory or risingtideslifecoaching.com.
Thank you. Thank you, Shane.
Thank you. I'm going to slide out now.
Woo. Bye, Shane. Well, I hope you enjoyed our time today with Shane. Here comes my second half, Russ Johns. Hey, Russ.
Hey, that was great. Thanks, Shane, for joining us on the show today. And I really appreciate the endorsement and everything that you guys talked about.
Oh, he's a great client, really.
Yeah.
Love it.
And we all love great clients, and we all love the ability to communicate with the ideal people, those people that we really get along with.
Because we have had a few clients that were like,
yeah,
they didn't trust what we were doing. They didn't understand it, but they weren't willing to just get in there and jump in.
Think of the positive.
We want more Shanes. If you're just like Shane, but you have a different product or service, please call us.
Yeah. We love having fun, and that's one of the requirements of our. It's our job description. Let's have fun. So
yeah. We're going to take it on the road. So if you have a suggestion or you have a business that you'd like us to come visit, and you're here in the Houston area, we want to just get out.
Speaking
back wall, there's nothing here.
Yeah,
Come on.
Need some artwork, something.
No, we need to take it on the road.
Yeah, take it on the road. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what else do we have coming up? We got another networking event when?
Okay.
It's in 2 weeks, right?
It is in 2 weeks. Let me look here. If you're in the Houston area or you want to come visit us, it's April 18th, which is a Tuesday, and it's early in the morning, 7:30 a.m.
Yep.
Every other Tuesday.
Every other Tuesday.
And we have a great group of people that come, business owners or people starting a business or people not knowing what they want to do.
I was surprised when we did a call to action today how many people have actually done business as a result of this group.
I know. We asked everybody to raise their hand if they're doing business with somebody in the room.
Yeah.
And how many hands went up?
Quite a few.
Yeah.
Quite a few.
I was like, wow.
And I think, there's, people aren't able to make every single meeting, and I know that there's some people that weren't here today that have actually done some business as well. So I look forward to doing business with anyone that arrives, and anything that we can do to help you out, achieve your results, your goals in your business. Love to have that conversation with you. And there's a couple of people that want us to follow up with them, so we'll be following up with those folks today, and we look forward to seeing you in our next event. Now, we have one more. We're going to be doing this show every Tuesday.
Every Tuesday. 1 o'clock.
Central
right
Time.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's true. Central.
Yeah,
time.
Central Time. So if you're watching from the East Coast or West Coast, dial in the Central Time.
You know what? How did Shane get to be on our show?
Shane actually signed up for our directory.
So you want to be on the show too?
And the whole purpose of the directory is that so we can actually promote your business.
Imagine that.
It's like the circle of life, only It's the circle of marketing, right?
Yeah. All right. Well, we love being here. We love hanging out with you. We'd like to see you at one of our events or somewhere out in the Houston area, if you have an event you'd like us to come to, please reach out to us, agency258.com. There's a contact page, there's a phone number, there's an email address. There is no excuse for getting a hold of us.
You can track us down on Twitter and follow us on Facebook and link with us on LinkedIn, anywhere you want, right?
Wow, that's cool.
So,
With that, I'm Marian LaSalle.
and I'm Russ Johns, and you enjoy your day.